Good morning, everyone. My name is Angie Toman. I'm the owner of Living Balance Studios here in Fayetteville, North Carolina. And here we teach yoga, Pilates, combination, core bar. We do have some of the Pilates machines. Lots of different options. We've got lots of things happening and we are expanding right now. So as we can't really have live classes at this point with a lot of people in the room, we are offering these classes to you free of charge on Facebook so that you can try out our different instructors and see our different styles. And then hopefully when we can all get back into the studio again, you'll have a studio home to come to. And you'll already have an idea of some of the instructors and some of our offerings. So we're really excited about that for you. We're really excited to be expanding what we do into the community and being able to give people a place to return to when we get back to whatever will be our new normal. This class is going to be beginning Pilates and yoga. We're going to do a continuation from last week's class. So last Tuesday, June 2nd, I offered a beginning Pilates and yoga class, and we are going to build a little bit from that today, do a little bit more of the exercises. I'll go back and go over a few things, but if something doesn't make sense to you, please go back to the recording that we did last Tuesday to get back a little bit more into the basics. So make sure you have some water nearby so you can get a drink if you need to. It might also be a good idea if you have a ball, small ball, or a block, or a hard cushion, something that you would be able to put between your legs and give a little squeeze. I'm going to give you some options with that to really understand how to draw the low pelvic floor muscles in. So I'll give you just a minute. If you can, go round up your water if you don't already have it, and round up a ball or a block or something to bring between your knees. If you don't have that, don't worry about it. But just if you can think of something to use, go ahead and get that. I'm going to use one of my foam blocks. The cork blocks are a little hard on the knees if you're squeezing into them. But if you have something along these lines that you could use, like I said, go ahead and grab that. So while I'm waiting for everyone, just a reminder, we started this this is the third week of it. So anybody is welcome to come into Living Balance Studios Facebook page, scroll through our feed, and find each of the classes that's being offered. There's one class per day. There are different types of classes. There are different instructors. So there's always a nice option, something new, something different to do each day. So please go check those out. If you're already a member of Living Balance Studios, and I know there are a lot of you out there that are, please share these videos. They're not private, they are open to the public, so do please share them with your friends and your family, and so that more people can get to know about Living Balance Studios and get to know all the offerings that we have. So let's take just a moment. Let's go back and review the breath from last week. So in a nutshell, yoga breath is the deepest breath you can bring into your body. We focus on breathing in through the nose, letting the lungs really open. Imagine two big balloons expanding in your body. And we exhale through the nose, letting those big balloons deflate and release, trying to really squeeze all of the air out, emptying out, so that then we can fill up again. And then exhale emptying out. So we want to try to keep the breath in yoga through the nose, in and out through the nose. This allows us to keep a little more body heat internal and keep our body warm even if we're moving slowly. Of course, if you're stopped up, if you have allergies, if you have a cold, then breathe through your mouth. In yoga breath, it's called Ujjayi breathing. It's also known as ocean breath. So what that means is when you go to the ocean and you hear that sound of the tide as it rolls in and out, and most of us find that sound fairly calming. I have a sleep sound machine that I use at night with that sound, the sound of the ocean rolling in and out. It's actually been scientifically proven, to calm and relax the nervous system. And so we want to use that in yoga. So we want to bring that ha vibration. So we inhale. As we exhale, trying to bring that sound out through the nasal passages. That's the main yoga breath we'll be using during our practice. Our Pilates breath, very different. We're still breathing in through the nose, but we breathe out through pursed lips, and it's a much stronger breath. What's the point of that breath? The point of that breath is every time we exhale, we want to think my belly button is lifting up and pulling, drawing into my spine. My waist is cinching in and tightening in. My back muscles are drawing in as well, so that we're getting this big band around our center that is all strength, and that happens with each exhale. Every time you engage, every time you breathe out through the mouth, we're engaging around the center. We're pulling that strength and that tightness. So what does that do? Remember, that supports our spine. If you've ever seen a skeleton, think about it. You've got this big rib cage up here, and then you've got this fairly large pelvic floor down here, two pretty substantial bone structures. What connects those two big bone structures? Just the vertebrae of the lumbar spine, the low back. So think about that. Big bone structure, big bone structure. We've got this poor little 5 vertebrae that connect those two big pieces. No wonder so many people end up with low back issues. So Pilates, one of the purposes of Pilates is to teach you to use those muscles that surround the lumbar spine so that we can support the lumbar spine and so that our low back can once again be healthy and we feel much better and much healthier. So let's take a few of those Pilates breaths now. So we're going to inhale through the nose, breathing in, filling up. When we exhale through the mouth, tighten in, draw everything into your center. Now, you don't get to let go of that center. When you inhale the next time, our breath is only going to ribs, chest, and upper back. The breath does not go down here in these lower regions. This area stays tight. We're never letting that go. When I say we're starting Pilates breath, this stays tight the entire time around your center. So remembering that's our breath. I want to go a little deeper into the technical parts of the body for Pilates. We didn't really do that last week. So I'm just going to turn sideways so you can see me. Chin nod. So every time when we're doing Pilates, before you round your spine up off the ground, I'm going to say nod your chin. What does that mean? Nod your chin into your chest and then pick your body up off the ground. Why? If you don't, you're going to be looking at the ceiling and straining your neck. You're going to be using your neck to pick yourself up. I want you to use your core to pick yourself up. So the chin nods, we take the neck out of it, and then we curl in. I'll show you that on the ground in just a moment. The other piece, shoulder blade alignment, shoulder alignment. We want to be careful because we do a lot of rolling in Pilates, but we don't want to create this round in the upper back, right? Most of us do enough things where we're picking up things, where we're holding things, where we're on the computer, where we don't want to aggravate this rounding of the upper back. We want to be strong there. So even when we're rounding in Pilates, when we're curving down, we don't overextend and open up the upper back that much, or overflex, excuse me. So what does that mean? Everyone, pull your arms away from you and feel your upper back, your shoulder blades slide and open off the sides of your back. Now I want you to imagine you're holding on to a rope here in front of you, or holding on to something in front of you. And now draw your shoulder blades together. Make the shoulder blades come together in your upper back. And feel how that draws the arm bone right back into the shoulder socket. So we don't want to be rounded here and really stretched out, shoulders spread wide. We don't really want to be backed up and too tight in the upper back. We want to be in that space in between, that neutral space. So not too much rounded forward, not too much tightened into the back, but just the right alignment. Just think of the arm bone drawing into the shoulder socket, not slamming backwards into it and not stretching too far out of it. So right in that neutral space. Now notice if I slam my arm bones back, notice my rib cage. See how it just flared out? Again, another thing we don't want in Pilates. The rib cage stays drawn in and connected. So if you can think about, for instance, like shoelaces. When you tighten the shoelaces in to tighten the tennis shoe around your foot, same thing with your ribs. If your ribs are flared out and open, imagine you've got shoelaces connected to each rib. And as you tighten the shoelaces, it draws that rib cage into alignment so that the rib cage is drawn in, not flared out. So now, let me take you to the ground. We're going to do some beginning exercises today, and as we do these exercises, I'll connect you with all of those pieces that we're putting together. So if you'll come down onto your back on the mat, feet on the ground, knees pointed up. To start with, just release your arms, close your eyes, notice your back. There are probably places where your back is touching the ground. There's probably places where your back is not touching the ground. And that is as it should be. We all have curves in our spine. All healthy spines are curved. So we want to allow for those curves. In the beginning, just noticing. So I told you about the chin tuck. So instead of when I lift up for a Pilates move, I don't lift up from here and strain my neck looking up toward the ceiling. I first nod my chin a little bit, and then that allows my core to draw me up without straining my neck. And now I'm looking at about knee level, and that's where we want our gaze for that. So when I reverse it, I do the same thing. I draw down, I'm still looking at my knees. The last thing is the release of the chin back to its neutral alignment. Chin nod. What about my shoulders? As I nod my chin and curl up, I'm not stretching so far that I'm getting a deep rounding in my upper back. I want to keep the arm bone back in the shoulder socket. I'm not slamming it backwards. I'm not stretching it too far forward. I'm right in that neutral zone in the middle of those two. I'm knitting my rib cage, right? So that I'm lacing up my ribs and drawing them into each other. So I'm nice and strong through my thoracic spine as well. All right, last piece now that we're on the ground. Two options. If you've been doing Pilates for at least 6 months, you might go to what we call neutral alignment. What does that mean? It means when I come up, my low back still might have a little space underneath the ground. Because now if I'm doing that, I'm bringing my back muscles into it as well. A little more advanced, a little trickier to do. When I'm new to Pilates, I'm going to do what we call imprint. And what that means is when I nod the chin, when I release the shoulders, when I knit the rib cage, I'm also going to push my belly button so strongly down towards my spine that I flatten my torso right into the mat, imprinting my low back. So there's no space between my low back and the ground. If I'm doing an exercise and I start to feel that low back curling up off the mat, I know my abdominals have gotten weak, they're letting go, it's straining my low back, and I need to come to a different version of that exercise to protect my low back. All right, lots of things. I know it's very technical, but that's kind of a base. We're going to get started from here. And like I said, we're going to be working back and forward between yoga and Pilates, but we'll start with Pilates. So one of the first exercises in Pilates is called dipping our foot in the pool. We're going to start with our head back to start, and that's always an option. I have so many people at the beginning of Pilates, they'll do a class or two and they'll say, I always have a headache when I leave Pilates. All right, that happens because your abdominals are not strong enough yet, so you're straining your neck to try to hold you. Your neck is trying to hold you up in that position. So what do we do about that? We can either take a hand, cradle the head to support the head, or we can simply put the head back and take the chin nod out of the whole thing and do the same exercises. So your option. Let's start with the head down. I want you just to reach your fingertips down towards your heels. We're going to come into our toes on the ground. So that's already going to activate. I want you to pull the belly button down into spine into the mat. Inhale first, we'll exhale. We're going to lift the right knee up, and then inhale, slowly lower, switching sides. As you exhale, imagine your knee is being pulled up by tightening your abdominals in. Inhale, lower. So we'll exhale, draw the knee in, and again, we move slow, no momentum. We're making muscles work for us here. Exhale, other side. Now that's the beginning. If you would like a little more, you're going to bring the legs to tabletop. Hip, 90-degree angle, knees, 90-degree angle. From there, we dip the toe down. So we're just reversing this. It's a little stronger. Exhale as we pull that knee back to tabletop. Inhale, dipping the toe down. Exhale, we're pulling the leg back to tabletop. Let's keep that going. What if you'd like a little more? You're going to nod the chin. Lengthen through the shoulders, connect the rib cage, draw it up. Inhale, exhale. I'm gazing at about knee level right here. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Let's keep going. What if my neck is bothering me? I'm going to cradle my head with one hand, or I'll just put my head back. We're just warming up the core here. Inhale, draws the toe down. Remember that exhale is a strong exhale through your mouth. You're blowing out one of those candles that's kind of hard to blow out. You got to really give it some air. Last one. Release back. Draw your knees into your chest. Release the glutes, release the hips. And let's bring the feet close in. Now the tricky part, another tricky part of Pilates in the beginning, is our hip flexors, right here where your leg meets your torso. That area wants to work. It wants to help you lift the leg. We want to take it out of that area. We want to bring it right into our center and make the abdominals do the work. But let's open up the hip flexors. So we'll walk heels in towards the glute, toes pointed straight ahead, and send the hips up so that now we're opening the hip flexors and stretching there. If you can, let's switch to a yoga breath. Let's breathe in through the nose. Breathe out through the nose. Allow the lungs to open up. Allow the Pilates zip up to release for just a moment. Chin nodding into chest, stretch the neck. And then bring the hips back down. All right, so next Pilates exercise. We're going to bring the right knee and hug it to us. We're going to take the left leg up toward the ceiling. Now this is the single leg stretch. Once again, we'll tuck the chin, release the shoulders, knit the rib cage, belly button to spine. Now to start with, you might just bring hands to knees, and as we switch hands to knees. If you're pretty good with coordination, there's actually arms for this. We're going to bring outside hand, will come to the arch of the foot. Inside hand crosses over to your knee. So you're crossing the center meridian of the body with the hand that wraps over to the knee. And then you switch hands and you switch legs. Takes a little bit more focus and organization. Mind, body, right? That's why this is called mind, body. We're working the mind and the body here. All right, so what am I doing? I'm breathing. I'm inhaling, then I'm exhaling. Then I'm inhaling, then I'm exhaling. If this is driving you crazy, just hold on to your knee. What are we doing if our neck bothers us? Maybe release our head back. How can we make this stronger if we'd like more? The long leg can go any length lower. Can be all the way down towards the ground, more advanced. Can be more at a 45-degree angle. Or it can be all the way up higher to take care of the low back a little more. A few more. Inhaling, exhaling, inhaling, exhaling. All right, let's bring both knees into the chest. Release the head back, let go of your shoulders again. Let's bring the feet down. Let's go a little wider with the feet, about as wide as your mat. Toes are still pointed straight down toward the bottom of your mat. We're going back to bridge pose. For me, with my legs a little wider, I'm able to lift that bridge pose a little higher. So just notice how this difference feels to you. I've learned through many, many years of teaching that everyone feels things differently in their body. We all are a little different. So just noticing where you feel this. And again, in Pilates, we're trying not to bring those hip flexors into it, but again, they like to work. So they like to help your abdominals. So notice now, maybe you feel a nice stretch as you send the hips up and open into the hip flexors. And then we'll lower down. All right, we're going to take one more exercise while we're here before we flip into our back. Arms out in a T by either side. Level 1, we're going to have our feet planted. We're going into windshield wiper. Level 2, we're in that tabletop, 90 degrees, 90 degrees. Level 3, we're straight up into the ceiling, long, long lever. Wherever you are, I want you to take your inhale through the nose, exhale through the mouth, push the belly button down, and imprint your low back, flattening it toward the mat. From there,
We're going to take the legs over to the right side about 45 degrees. So the hip will lift, the left hip will lift up some. And then as you exhale, you're going to bring that left hip down by making the abdominals pull in and push your back to the ground. And then we'll go the other way, inhaling to the other side, about halfway down. Now as you exhale, where's your waist? Cinch it in. Exhale, we're zipping up, Pilates zip up. Tighten in, flatten the back to the mat. So let's inhale, going over to the side, about halfway down. We'll exhale, tighten in, lots of strength in your center. Inhale, if you can, allow your head to go the opposite way of your legs. Just stretching the neck a little bit while we're doing this. Drawing back to center. Maybe your toes are on the ground here. Inhaling as you go to the side. Exhaling, especially if you have low back issues. We want to start at more of those beginning levels so that we can strengthen without straining. I always tell people, if you're new at Pilates or new at yoga, you're not supposed to do it all in the first day. Remember that. It's a journey. I've been doing this for about 25 years now. I started researching and studying yoga and Pilates in about 1995, at the time living in Tallahassee, Florida, where there was no yoga and no one had even heard of Pilates. So it's been a journey so far so good. So again, if you're new to this, don't try to do it all today. You've got plenty of years. Drop back into center, and one more time. And drawing it back into center. All right, let's release our legs out. Let's stretch the legs to the bottom of the mat. We'll take a Pilates roll up. So we're reaching the arms overhead. All the principles apply. Arms forward, chin nods. Watch that you're not rounding in the shoulders. Keep them back. Knit the ribs in. Push the belly button down. Now, if you get stuck here, which is not unusual to kind of get stuck right here, how you get past that is use an elbow, give yourself a little push until you're past that point where you're stuck, and then bring it forward and reach forward into your toes. So if you don't have the roll up completely, if your body's not quite there yet, then the way to train your body is to do the half roll up, half roll down until you're strong enough. So let's try that. We're going to take the half roll down. We'll tuck the tailbone under. We'll tighten the abdominals in. We're knitting the rib cage in. We're watching that we're not hunching over, just keeping the shoulders relaxed away from the ears. We're rolling down until we get to that point where we really feel the core muscles kick in. Let's hold that for a breath, strengthening, and then we'll roll it back up and lift nice and tall, perfect posture. Inhale, exhale, draw the tailbone under, begin to round the back, knit the rib cage, shoulders relaxed, chin nods, pause, keep breathing, find that strength, and then slowly lift it back up. Now, a little more difficult, bend the knees. Why is this more difficult? It takes the hip flexors out of it a little bit more, so they can't really work as hard here. So now the abdominals have to focus all the work. Hold. But again, some people find this easier. I find this more difficult. So just notice for you what you feel. Bring it forward. Lift it up. Let's do one more time. Drawing the tailbone under. If you'd like to try for the full roll down here, you can keep going, taking it slowly down to the ground. Deep breath, lengthen. When you come forward, chin nods, shoulders relaxed, ribs connect, low back pushes down. Try to really press down into your feet. Keep your feet actively pushing down into the earth. And lift it up. Great job. Take a rest. Let's get a little bit of water. Something I'd like to mention too, especially with everyone being new, is as we've said in all these classes, really important for you to tune into your body and take care of your body. I'm not there with you, in the room with you, so I cannot watch and correct your alignment. So please listen in, pay attention to your body, remembering that neither myself nor Living Balance Studios is liable for any injuries that might occur while you are doing this practice. So really important for you to be accountable with your bodies. Having said that, I want to say, if you are someone who has a bulging disc, before you do any kind of Pilates, you need to check in with your doctor. Rolling the spine like we do mostly in Pilates can sometimes aggravate a bulging disc. So we want to be aware of that and cautious about that. All right, so let's come over into hands and knees. And let's bring our attention to our back muscles. So come all the way down onto your mat. We'll start in yoga, what we call Sphinx pose, where our forearms are parallel to the ground, elbows underneath shoulders. We're lifting up. If you've ever seen the Sphinx statue, that is basically what you're creating here, lifting up and out. Let's use a yoga breath for just a few moments as we breathe into this back bend. We just did a lot of flexion with the spine, so now we want to extend the spine in the opposite direction, keeping it healthy in both directions. If you find that this hurts your low back, or your low back feels a little maybe grumpy in this pose, in Pilates, what we would do here is we would take a big exhale, zip up the belly. Maybe your belly peels up off the mat. Maybe it doesn't, but maybe you feel that strengthening as if it's trying to get off the mat. And we hold that strength, and you'll probably notice that helps your low back. So for a moment, let go of your belly. Let it be floppy down on the mat. Notice how that feels in your back. From there, take an inhale, take an exhale, zip the belly up and in, tightening in, and find that support. So if you'd like a little more, come to your knees and knee plank, holding the abdominals in and holding their strength so that you're drawing it up and in. If you'd like a little more, tuck your toes and come to your full plank, also known as stick in Pilates. And let's use our Pilates breath. So we're inhaling through the nose, we're exhaling through the mouth, zipping up, holding our center nice and strong and lifted. Lots happening here. Shoulders are strong. Again, watch that you're not pushing out and away with your shoulders. Watch that you're not sinking and dropping into your shoulders. Find that space right in between where that arm bone is connected into the shoulder socket correctly, and hold the strength. And then lower the knees, lower the hips. Let's go right into single leg kick. So inhale. Here on the exhale, we'll bring the heel in, kick, kick. Inhale, push and stretch that leg away, alternating. Kick, kick. Inhale, reach it away. Exhale, kick, kick. I'm engaging my glute there as I draw it in. Pull the leg to you, push the leg away. Pull the leg, back of the leg engages, push the leg, front of the leg engages. Let's find strength throughout our body. Each of those exhales, belly button drawn in. I'm lengthening my neck nice and long. My chin is a little bit knotted, so the back of my neck still stays nice and lengthened. Your neck is part of your spine. We want to support it and lengthen it as well. Let's do 2 more. Now once again, lift the abdominals, pull them away from the mat. Feel the front of your body strong. And then let's lower down, release the shoulders, release the head. Send your breath all the way down. Switch to that yoga breath. Open the lungs up. Bring it all the way into your low back. Might feel good here to take reverse windshield wipers. So your legs come up, knees bent, and we just flop the feet from side to side, rolling over the hips. This would be a good place maybe to get a little stretch, little yoga stretch. So we'll bring the legs closer together. Let's reach around, see if we can find our right ankle. If you can't, grab, if you have a pant leg or a sock or something, anything that you can hold on to, pull it to you, and just bring that heel right into your glute as much as you can. This is a stretch for the quadricep, the front of the leg. We're opening that quadricep up. Let's take our Pilates breath, or excuse me, our yoga breath here. So in deep, out deep. Sometimes the Pilates moves can raise your heart rate, get your body pumping a little bit, which is always a good thing, but then we can use our yoga breath to slow the body back down. And let's release and just switch in to your other leg. And if you've got your head turned one way, try to turn your head the other way so that your neck doesn't get used to just being turned one way. We want to keep it open and flexible on both sides. And then releasing down from that, we'll come up, we'll come through hands and knees and round into our cat pose. So the tailbone points down as much as you can, stretching and opening into the low back. This is a place where, yes, we might spread our shoulder blades apart off our back and open and stretch the upper back muscles. And then maybe reversing, this is cow pose, drawing the heart through, drawing the shoulders back. Get them away from your ears. You don't want to scrunch them up next to your ears. Push them back and away. Lift your chest through. Let your tailbone lift up toward the ceiling. And are your rib cage opened up here? Yes, rib cage is open. We're not knitting it together. When we move back into cat, we can think about knitting it and drawing it in. I know there's a lot to think about, a lot to know. Don't get discouraged. Again, it's a journey, it's a practice. Take in what you can today. And each time you come back to your practice, each thing will begin to make a little more sense. All right, we're going to turn sideways. And we'll take our legs over to the side. We're going to do mermaid, which is our main side body exercise, one of the main side body exercises in Pilates. So we're reaching the arms out nice and long. Take an inhale. Draw your spine as tall as you can. Take an exhale. Where is that belly button? Draw it up and in. Lots of strength. We're going to reach up and over, side body stretch. And then exhale, make your waist pull you through your center. Remember, we don't want to use the bottom arm to pop us up and lift us. We want to make the waist work you. Inhale. Exhale, cinch. Inhale. Exhale, cinch. Go at your own pace. All right, we're going to add a little bit of a stretch. So let's stay on this side. Taking your top arm, we're going to tuck it into our shin. And let that draw us a little bit into a stretch here. Looking back over your back shoulder. Notice any spaces where you might feel this stretch. We're opening through the back muscles a little more. We're adding a twist for the spine, medicine for our spine here. And then coming back up and over. All right, we're going to go into something called side series. Now, all of my people who know me and take my classes, side series is about my least favorite thing to do, but it's something that's important. Works on our hips and on our waist. So we're going to come down. Options here are going to be either on your forearm, or you can prop your head and come down, whichever one feels more comfortable for you. We're going to be working this top leg. So we're not straight and long. We're going to pike the feet a little bit forward in front of us, just giving us a little more balance control. We'll lift the top leg up. Let's push it back behind us, fire into that glute. This is the bicycle. We're going to bend the knee, pull it through, tighten the abdominals as you pull it through, and then push it back nice and long. So we're working hip here. We're working glutes. As we pull that leg through, we're working abdominal strength to bring the leg through. The leg is parallel to the ground. We're using our Pilates breath. We're staying strong through our core. Hold the leg back. We're going to reverse our bicycle. So we'll bring the leg forward. Now bend the knee in front and push the leg back behind you. So the leg comes forward. This is reverse bicycle. Bend the knee. Push it back. Bend the knee, push it back. So this is really great for working on the waist, for working on the strength around your hip joint. One more time, we're going to hold it back once we get back. Reaching it back, really lengthening. Now hot potato. So in hot potato, we're touching 3 times in the back. We're kicking the leg up. When you kick it up, watch that you don't turn your knee open. Keep your knee pointed ahead toward me. Touch 3 times in front, kick it up. Touch 3 times in back, kick it up. Let's do a few more. Keep breathing. Keep using your Pilates breath. Keep strong on that hip. It might be talking to you by now. Last one. Now, flex through your foot. Again, knee pointing straight ahead toward me. Little circles. Keep the abdominals strong. Keep pulling into your center. Are you feeling some discomfort? It's okay to feel discomfort. Take a big exhale. Maybe you need to take a big sigh out and make some noise. Make some noise. It's okay. You can do this. Keep it going. Stay strong. All right, now this is where that good yoga part comes in. Bring your knee to your chest. Hug it in. Soften the glute. Release your knee in front of you. Relax there. Now, if you'd like to add a twist, you're going to roll your torso backward away from your leg. Release your arms out to the sides. Let gravity gently draw that knee down, opening and stretching in the hip. Now there's a lot more to side series. We're just doing a little sampling here, giving you a little sampling of a lot of the different exercises. There's so many more. And again, that's why it's a journey. All right, let's roll and bring ourselves up. And let's take the other side. So we're going to bring legs over. We'll start with mermaid. Remember, if this bothers your knees at all, you can put a leg out if it doesn't feel good. But if you can, just any way you can fold your knees in so that you can sit up as tall as you possibly can. Arms nice and long, stretching out. Here we go. We're going up and over, stretching the side body. As we come up, we're making the side body draw us back. I remember when I first started doing Pilates and I first did mermaid, I was kind of like, what is the point of this? What am I really doing here? Is anything really working? But it's amazing how nice this exercise can really make you feel and how much it opens your rib cage for you. We're going to hold right here and stretch through, lengthening through the side of the body. And once again, taking your top hand, we'll tuck it toward the shin, letting there be a little twist here, opening the back muscles. As you look back and bring the chin backwards, just notice any place where your neck needs this stretch, where your shoulder needs this stretch. And slowly unwind. All right, so here's why I think I don't like side series, because we've still got to do the whole other side now. So come down on your side. Now you know what's coming. So again, your choice of how you'd like to be propped up. We'll take the top leg and lift it up parallel to the ground. We're going to start with it back behind us. Squeeze that top glute. Bend the knee. This is the bicycle. We're pulling it through to us and then pushing it back and away. Bend the knee. Pull the knee to your chest. Lengthen the leg and push it back. So when you're doing side series, you can't leave the class early because you don't want to be lopsided. You want to make sure we get both sides worked here. All right, now hold it back. We're going to sweep it forward straight. This is reverse bicycle. Bend the knee, push it behind you. Draw in, make those abdominals, bring that leg to you. Bend the knee, push it back. Again, this is where one of those places the hip flexor wants to work. Nope, make the abdominals, pull it there. Bend the knee, push it backward. Let's do one more. We're going to hold it in the back once we get it back there. Lift the belly button up and in, zip up your center, and we're going right into hot potato. So touch 3 times, kick it up. Touch 3 times in front, kick it up. Touch in the back, kick it up. Touch in the front, kick it up. Now, remember, the knee is pointing ahead toward me. We're not doing some sort of kick here where we're opening up the leg. We're still working right on the outside of that hip. Last 2. And hold it to the side. Flex through the ankle. Knee still to me. And little circles. Fire, fire. Where's the outside of that hip? Find it and feel it. Hold for a moment, stay with it, you can do it, stay strong, you're almost there, breathe for me. Bring the knee in. Relax. This is the reward. Breathe and open. Go ahead, let's drop the knee down in front of you. If you want to add the twist, release your torso backward away from the knee. Again, we're using a yoga breath here. We're softening in, slowing down. We're going to slowly unwind and come back up. We're going to finish off with the 100. So we're coming back down. We're going to roll down onto our back. Let's do one more roll down. Keep your feet planted to the earth. Reach your arms in front. Remember, we're tucking the tailbone under. We're knitting the rib cage, lacing it in. Watch that our shoulders aren't scrunched and rounded forward. Keep them back and down in the shoulder socket. Chin is nodding, looking at your knees. Slowly take it to the earth. Take a moment at the bottom to stretch and lengthen out. All right, so the 100. We're going to be taking quick staccato breaths, in through the nose, out through the mouth. Each time we exhale, we're going to tighten that belly button down deeper into our spine. We're going to be pumping the arms with our breath, lengthening the arms. Level 1 will be here, feet on the ground. Level 2 will be at our tabletop position. Level 3, up to the ceiling. Level 4, we're lengthening legs down any amount. I want you in imprint, so don't lower your legs down so much that your low back pops up off the ground. Keep that low back pressing down into the ground. Start down. Take an inhale. Exhale, nod your chin. Rounding forward. Lace the rib cage. Push the low back down. Here we go. In, 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathe out. 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathe in. 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathe out. 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathe in. 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathe out. 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathe in. 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathe out. 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathe in. 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathe out. 2, 3, 4, 5. Remember, you can always cradle your head or you can put it back. Breathe in, 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathe out. 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathe in. 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathe out. 2, 3, 4, 5. We're pushing that low back down into the ground. Out. 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathe in. 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathe out. 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathe in. 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathe out. 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathe in. 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathe out. 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathe in. 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathe out. 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold. Take a breath. Draw up. Push that low back down. Bring your knees into your chest. Soften your shoulders back. Gently rock your head side to side. So we're going to take Shavasana from yoga, final relaxation. Relax your shoulders back. Close your eyes. Bring your legs wherever it feels comfortable to you. Bring your shoulders wherever it feels comfortable, along with your arms. There's no right or wrong way to do this, as long as your body is comfortable and can relax. As you relax here, try not to let your mind go into the day. Try to allow yourself these last few moments to just relax and soften. That's not to say you won't have thoughts. You will. But try not to engage those thoughts. Slowly begin to deepen your breath.
Gently hug your knees to your chest, rolling to one of your sides, and bringing yourself back up to any seated position that feels right in your body. Close your eyes. Bring your hands to heart center. Breathe deep. Take a moment of gratitude toward your body for your practice, for the work that you've committed to. Namaste. Now, before you go off, I'm looking at my block and realizing I told everyone to get a block or a ball or something, and then we never used it in our practice today. So let me just explain what we were going to use this for, and I will try to remember so that we would use it next week in our practice and you can really see. But basically, this is a great tool, especially when you're new. If you put it between your thighs or your knees, like I said, it can be anything. I'm using a foam block right now. And you put it in the center and you squeeze into it as if I was going to try to smash it inwards. What that does is that fires my inner thigh muscles, my adductor muscles. And as I fire into those muscles, it makes it usually for most of us a little simpler to then feel those low pelvic floor muscles begin to fire as well. And all the way up. So ladies, we want to think about Kegel muscles, drawing up and in, and imagine everything in the center, tightening and scooping up. Gentlemen, we want to think about maybe when you're walking into a pool of really cold water, and you feel those groin muscles begin to draw up and inward. That's that Pilates zip up. Because all these muscles kind of connect, if you're squeezing into that block or that ball, it sometimes makes it easier to really feel and fire into those muscles. So if you're doing any practice after this class, or if you're redoing this class, maybe when we're doing the roll up, roll down, or any of the things where we're firing into our core, you might want to use the block or the ball as a prop. Squeeze it between your legs, fire that in, and let that help you. That will also, of course, work those inner thighs and give you more strength in the inner thighs. So I hope you have a wonderful day. I will see you all next week. We will build on this class for one more week, giving some more basics. And then something exciting is going to be coming up at the end of this month. If you have any knowledge of Pilates in this town, then you have probably heard the name Susie McFadden. She is a friend of mine. She was my student many, many, many years ago. And she is now an incredible Pilates instructor, along with yoga and other things. And she is going to be doing a series for us to once again break down Pilates and be a little bit more anatomical about it than I am. But that is coming soon. So just keep checking back with us. It was wonderful to practice with everyone. Namaste. Have a wonderful day.